Hi, welcome to the Israel First television program from our studios in Jerusalem. My name is Martin Blackham. I'm with my wife, Nathalie Blackham, and we welcome you across the world. Thank you so much for joining us today with a program that looks at Israel. We look at the news and we look at what's happening behind the news. And we also do analysis. In other words, we look not just at the news, but at what the bigger meaning of it is, the pieces of the puzzle from the news stories that show us what's happening in these end times. Now, last episode, the last program we did, I talked about the control, the New World Order, the One World Government, and the importance of control, that a globalist government could not run the world unless it has control. That's its main agenda, because it can't function otherwise. And so that's why the control systems were coming in, we talked about on the last program, Nathalie. Now, this program, I want to talk about the agenda, the anti-God agenda of alteration of human life. That is, to make it clear, the changing of human beings and the creation, and Israel's leading role in this, which is quite shocking, Nathalie, to think that Israel would be one of the leaders in the world. Having said that, Israel first. So in other words, what's happening here is the first of what's happening in the nations. And we shouldn't be surprised about that, as we are coming to the end of days, that the forces of evil, that the One World Government, New World Order are doing all these things. Now,
before the redemption.
Right.
This is the thing. It's like Satan, the adversary, wants to control humanity, control Earth, and have power. And God is in charge.
And the big news, as we've come into the studio, was that we've just had the visit of Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, who may well be a presidential candidate for the Republican Party
in America.
Has just been here to the Museum of Tolerance, which has just been finished, being constructed in Jerusalem, a huge project. The Museum of Tolerance has just been opened, and Ron DeSantis was speaking there. And he signed, one of the things he's done since he's been in Israel is to sign a joint declaration with the Israel Innovation Authority, which is very innocent sounding, and in fact you would think that this is a very good thing, that Israel is promoting innovation, and that in itself is a good thing, but it's what it's promoting that needs to concern us. And the Israel Innovation Authority's involvement with bioconvergence. Bioconvergence is a word that you need to note and to do some research about. It's very related to transhumanism. And Governor DeSantis said, "I was proud to sign a joint declaration with the Israel Innovation Authority to promote strategic partnerships in trade and innovation between Israel and Florida. One of the main goals of the Israeli Innovation Authority is to promote bioconvergence, which is the biological technologies that are inserted into our lives in much the same way that digital technologies are now. The Innovation Authority believes that the Israeli innovation system has substantial potential to transform the country into a world leader in bioconvergence. The authority is striving to enable the growth and success of the bioconvergence industry." It's not just a name, but it's actually a whole industry, a whole way of life, really, Nathalie, that they're doing these things. In May 2022, exactly 1 year ago, the authority and its government partners ratified a 5-year national bioconvergence program. The group will invest around $350 million. If you can just get your head around those figures, that's $350 million into this program, creating more research centers, startups, accelerators, incubators, boosting international cooperation in this bioconvergence. Israeli freedom warrior Ilana Rachel Daniel has warned about what's happening in a video, and she's very concerned that Israel is leading the way with bioconvergence oblique transhumanism. According to Rachel Daniels, she says the headlines leave no room for misinterpretation. They are transforming Israel into a world bioconvergence leader in the next decade. Everyone should be very concerned. The question is, why should we have so much concern? Well, we need to do a bit of digging, a bit of research into what bioconvergence and its role in the world is. Basically, it's the biological and digital systems are converging and will transform the way we work, we live. It will redefine what it means to be human. More than a technological change, it's not just a better technology, it's changing, it's transforming human beings and redefining what human beings are. Now listen to this, there's some details here. Mind-machine interface computer systems integrated with human physiology. Brain interfaces, also known as neural interfaces, with the computer interfaces enable direct communication, listen to this, between the brain and computers. High bandwidth data connection between brains and computers. In 2004, that's nearly 20 years ago, a paralyzed man with an implant was able to play computer games and check email using only his mind. He didn't have a mouse, he didn't have a control, he just thought about it and was able to check his email and play computer games because of an implant. Mm-hmm. Implants could cause physical harm to the user and influence behavior. This is nothing new. Many of you will be aware about Elon Musk and the goal of Neuralink, which is the Elon Musk project. His brain-machine interface startup is to have humans merge with artificial intelligence. I'll say that again. It's to have humans merge, become one with artificial intelligence. The biosensors implanted into your body for constant monitoring of organs and systems. There's something called a nano ghost, which is a smart nano robot and is used as a drug delivery system which transfers stem cells to the chosen human organs. Cyborg tissues made of biological materials and electronic components that will integrate into your body's tissues. Optogenetics aims to activate, I think I've talked about this before, there was a news story about a company in Israel who are doing glasses which do this. Optogenetics to activate specific neurons in your brain using rapid pulses of light. Organ-on-a-chip technology that allows the growth of human tissues with specific organ function outside of the body. Gene therapies pose another complexity. They aim to introduce new genetic material into our DNA, essentially rewriting our biological instructions. Now listen to this, if you edit the wrong part of your DNA, you run the serious risk of interfering with your body, causing all sorts of medical issues, including the possibility of a tumour. They're also doing bioengineering of crops, livestock, ecological systems, synthetic biology tools like CRISPR. You can do some research into that, CRISPR. It allows for gene editing and gene synthesis technologies. And this is something that Israel is promoting. And I say that because it's like the control from the last program I was talking about. It's at the center of everything. It's the center of all of the activities that are happening with the innovation. Now, another thing which is being promoted at high speed in Israel, Nathalie, is the alteration of food, with genes, the gene changing the food using artificial food. And one of the big news stories was Prime Minister Netanyahu recently opened or announced the granting of authorization to remilk, to do milk, artificial milk. And
so you know, they don't use cows anymore.
Right. What we're
it's very important to say.
Listen, what we are witnessing in front of our very eyes is the wholesale destruction of Israel's dairy farming by globalist elite monsters. That's what the bottom line is, who want to control and dictate what we eat. And they're not even going to tell us on the packaging if it's real milk or this artificial gene stuff. And Israel has unfortunately, very sadly, granted a local food startup called Remilk, a developer of cultured milk and dairy. Let's be honest, it's not cultured, it's made with gene therapy, gene alteration.
Exactly, which means again that our body was used to have all this protein from the cows and the goats is natural. But we don't know how our body are going to react with all these things. So it's just crazy.
It's evil because God made it. You know, that God made creation. God made man in His image. God made creation. God made the cows, the fields. He made everything. Everything was done in such
an amazing way.
And it says in Genesis, everything was very good. It doesn't say, oh, there was a problem that needs a bit of work on it by man. That one of the, you know, there's a problem with the milk, or there's a problem with cows, or there's a problem with man. No, there was no issues when God made man. He said it was very good, and God made creation. But what we've got in our generation is an anti-God agenda from control now into changing human life as we know it, changing everything around us, with the excuse, with the pretext, with the hiding it, using as a smokescreen that it's innovative and that it's new technology. And
when you speak about that, this reminds me again about the Nephilim, because the Nephilim were using technology. I mean, like the Nephilim was giving the understanding to the human being in Genesis, that thing that the man didn't know, and they were giving them things that they knew. Now, I mean, we can speak like for hours about all these things, but go and do some research about the Nephilim, because it's like so important, because we are coming in. We spoke already about that, but it's like parallel. We are seeing these things now. One thing, and I need to maybe next time I will look more into it. You know, when you are saying everything was said is good, there was one thing where God doesn't say. I think it's on the fourth day, but I'm not sure. I have to. Maybe it's on the second day. I have to look. Maybe it's on the second day. I have to look. I have to do some research. But when there was separation, is like in the heavens, and I wonder if it's the time where there was rebellion between the angel who wanted to be with God and the angel who were against God, and like there was a separation that happened, and God doesn't want this separation. I will always speak about this separation and unity, how it is important for God, like in a few minutes.
And I know Nathalie,
which is interesting.
Nathalie does a lot of research into as well as the news and what's happening behind the scenes. She also does a lot of research into the Hebrew language, and I think that today you've got some things to share.
If you want, I can start now. The thing is, you see, the Hebrew language, all the letters are building blocks for creation. So we need to do that. The Hebrew language is created by God. He created the world with the Hebrew language. And so it's very, very special. It's written in Zephaniah 3:9 that God will give us again this language, this pure language for humanity. Why? To be able to serve Him in unity. Okay, so we go back to when God said He had to do a separation, and He had to He really had to say, this is not good. I don't like separation. He doesn't like divorce. He doesn't like things who are like broken, okay? When we say shalom, shalom means all, that everything is put together. Now, today we are going, last time I was speaking about when Yeshua, Jesus said, the first commandment is the Shema. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Here, Israel, your God, our God is one. Okay, so it's very important. Again, you can see the unity. Now today I want just to take a tiny bit. I mean, I have a book here about the hidden beauty of the Shema, and there is so many beautiful things in it. And when you look in Hebrew, and we spoke already about that, there is, the letters are written in a very specific way. Is a sofer, a sofer, a writer, I mean, like, I can't remember a scribe in English, who has to write it down. Is a very holy work, by the way, when they do it. When they go to write the name Yud He Vav He, the name of God, they will do a prayer before writing his name, because it's very special. Anyway, it's like, you can learn so many things about all these things. But today I want to look in this Shema. At the beginning, when you say hear, O Israel, hear, Shema, there is a letter, Ayin. I'm going to show you. Ayin, okay, is one of the letters of the alphabet. The alphabet is all these beautiful letters here, and Ayin is one of them, and it's written bigger, all right? This is in the Torah, when it's the first time said, Hear, O Israel. After, when you see it written in different places, you won't have the different things with the letters, but this is written, and the Dalet, again, at the end, is written bigger. Now, when you put these two letters together, Ayin and Dalet is Ed, which means witness, okay? And when you put it on the other side, it will be Dalet and Ayin, which is Da, which means no. So when you see the beauty of saying the Shema, which is very, very important right now, when you see all the things that's happening, which is like taking God out of the picture, when we say the Shema, we are putting God in the picture. We are putting God in our lives. So you can see why Yeshua was saying this is one of the most important commandments. I mean, the first one. And then he say, love your neighbor. But the first one is to recognize God. Okay? Now, one thing also, the name Ayin. So you see, I wrote a book, The Beauty of the Hebrew Language, and you speak about the letters. The letter Ayin is also, Ayin is I. So Ed, we say, is a witness. It's just there. It's like we, with our eyes, we say to God, you are in our picture, in every day. You know you are here. And Da means knowledge. We know that you are here. We acknowledge you every day. And the Jewish people were saying the Shema, I say still all the time, the Shema when they get up in the morning and when they go to sleep in the evening. So it's like at the beginning, I'm awake, God, I know that you are here and I acknowledge you in my day. And when they go to sleep, it's like, thank you, you've been in my day. I'm going to sleep and you are going to be the witness of my sleep. You are still with me. And also when they die, it will be the last thing that they will say. Again, is to say, I belong to you. Like I acknowledge that you are God, that I belong to you. And Yeshua tell us also, he said to everybody, to the believers, you know, say the Shema. And I think, you know, I was praying and I really felt that God was saying, come on, do more teaching of the understanding and the importance of Shema. And when you see what's happening now, which is like the world and the World Economic Forum and all these people wants to take out God out of our picture, out of the creation, out of our daily life. And as we say, no, we acknowledge we are made in the image of God. And there is this unity. Again, maybe next time we'll speak a bit more about that. There is a unity. God is one, but at the end of the time, we will be one with him, which is what was written in Zephaniah 3:9. In unity, we will praise him. We will serve him. There is something beautiful in unity, and is what God's like. Now, unity doesn't mean that we are the same. You see the trees, the flowers, they are all different, but there is a unity. So God doesn't ask us to be like each other. No, he loves diversity. But he likes that in that diversity, we are one with him and we acknowledge him. So this is our weapon, I would say, really.
Yeah, and it's a very important weapon because the news is revealing the anti-God agenda of these days, and you know, it doesn't stop. In Jerusalem Post, they are talking about artificial intelligence, AI, which is the short for artificial intelligence, being used for more and more medical applications. And if you remember, I was just talking about the bioconvergence. Well, artificial intelligence is also part of that. And now they are promoting or recommending and reporting upon the use of smartphones to diagnose strokes from afar. And they've reported on a company called CV Medic, who say that they have AI technology which will provide, allegedly, a triage clinician with a tool for immediate diagnosis with a purported degree of accuracy of whether a patient has had a stroke and how severe it is. The concept of analysing the voice to diagnose strokes has been discussed for at least the last 5 years, maybe even a decade, by doctors, hospitals, high-tech companies, but hasn't in any way succeeded. Experts say a smartphone app that may help detect stroke symptoms is a great idea, but they say the app should be used to educate people about the signs and motivate them to call for an ambulance, not to be used as a diagnostic tool. Some experts express concern that a false negative result may discourage some people from even seeking medical help. You know, if you see that everything's okay according to your smartphone, and of course that could have devastating consequences. The question is can medical artificial intelligence be trusted to safely diagnose a person? We're trusting computers and robots.
And telephone. This
and
is
telephones.
The thing.
That's what we are.
They are trying to make us slave of our phone, saying, no, look, it's so good to have a phone because now less people can have a heart attack and all of that. You know what? For millennia, people have been living without a phone and the world was still going around, and maybe better than how it is now. So they want to enslave us in a very clever way, thinking like, look, you are getting better, it's getting better all the time.
And the technology should never be used to replace human beings, because that's the issue. We're replacing human beings with technology, and we're not just doing it with apps on phones. We're doing it in hospitals and medical clinics. Israel's largest hospital, Sheba Medical Center in Tel Aviv, has been ranked 13th on the list of medical centers throughout the world implementing smart technology, AI. Professor Yitzhak Kreis, Director General of Sheba Medical Center, says the digital transformation process, which started at Sheba a few years ago, includes the implementation of artificial intelligence, telemedicine, robotics and digital tools for the patient. And there's a number of scientists and philosophers and technological experts, however, have warned against the danger of AI. The authors of the study, who come from academic institutions across the US, Australia and Spain, published their findings in the Journal of Artificial Intelligence Research. It is noted that due to the technological progress, we are experiencing a resurgence in the discussion of artificial intelligence, which is even in the news as we've come into the studio, as a potential disaster for humanity. That's the words they use in their research. The most obvious risk, of course, with AI systems is that they go wrong, and that as a result of the system going wrong, there's patient injury or other healthcare issues. If an AI system recommends the wrong drug for a patient, or fails to notice a tumour, or a scan is not done properly, or allocates a hospital bed to one patient before another incorrectly, the patient could be injured. Of course, many injuries occur due to medical error in the health system today and without any involvement of AI. However, AI errors are potentially far more serious. First, patients and providers react differently to injuries resulting from software than human error. And second, if AI systems become widespread, an underlying problem in the AI system may result in injuries to thousands of patients rather than a limited number of patients by a single provider's error. And this is what's happening in Israel, that they are using more and more smart systems in hospitals. And in fact, there was a video, this was from China, not from Israel, of a robot at a hospital. They are using robots, by the way, in Israel. I don't think it's Sheba, but another hospital. They've started to use robots in the entrance to the hospital. And in the video, I think it was a lady, was attacking a robot with a stick.
Oh, I saw that one.
And due to frustration. And the thing is, an AI system doesn't always detect the right thing. For example, you might be trembling for a variety of medical reasons, and instead of saying we're trying to find out why, it might say you've got Parkinson's, the AI machine, rather than work out why all the different things that a doctor would normally do to check you. There is also an issue of human interaction.
Yes.
That when you go into a hospital, you expect to meet a human being who will help you in your time of need. Just like any other time of need, when you go into hospital, you need to have human interaction to enable.
And first, you have your personal doctor, which is becoming rarer and rarer, like your family doctor, which will know your background, will know a lot of things that is not always written on paper. And there is this human touch, you know, like the doctors before. I mean, I was speaking with a friend yesterday and she had to go to the hospital, urgent and all of, and they don't seem to, I have heard so many stories now, they don't know how to treat the people. And it's not good. It's not good. This human touch is disappearing.
And it's not just meeting a human being. We're also, because we're using artificial intelligence, we're using robots in medical care, we are going to see unemployment. I talked about this with the robots they're going to use in Israel in picking fruit, and with the issue with foreign workers who depend, their livelihood is depending upon being able to pick fruit and other agricultural purposes in Israel. And if they're introducing robotic and artificial intelligence, we're going to see a lot of people unemployed. And it has a knock-on effect. If someone's unemployed who would have worked in the agricultural field, he's not going to go to the shop to buy anything. That's going to result in the shop having a loss of sales. And then, so when we start seeing the knock-on effect, and
not I mean, all these things, you're right, but you know, I was learning also this week, when you do something which is like, again, inviting God in your life, when you do something, is like, thank you for the fruits that you are giving me, thank you for cooking, you know, like the gratefulness of us doing things with people, or like just saying thank you for that. And like picking fruits. Picking fruit is like, thank you, Lord, for the fruits that are on the tree. If it's all robots doing it, it's like we touch again, we lose the touch with creation, which is very important. Nature is all around us because it's bringing so much things in our life, and sometimes we don't know it, but it does. Like I was learning about like birds singing early in the morning. They are doing something all around, to the seeds, to the fruits. God has done an amazing universe for us to enjoy. And we need to acknowledge, first of all, even us, we need to acknowledge that and bring God in our picture, in our world all the time, in little things. He loves, this is the thing that He wants. He wants to see us enjoying life. He wants to see us connecting with Him in little things and in big things. And every day, when we say the Shema, in the morning and in the evening, is not just in the morning, in the evening. He wants us to be with us. He wants us to connect with Him all the time. And to connect with each other is something so important, like vital for us to be able to connect. And when you see all the other things, is destroying this beautiful thing that God has done. And we need to be aware of these things, and we're need
out of
to
time,
learn.
Nathalie.
Sure.
Sorry folks, we're out of time. And it'd be great to be with you. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for your support, which enables us to bring these programs to you. To bring the program today to you is because of your financial support. And if you'd like to financially support us, please go to our website, www.israelfirst.org. A lot of information on there, including a daily news story under the media page. And as I say, you can support us, you can contact us from the website. And we appreciate hearing from you, so please do contact us. And remember, we're the program that looks at the land, the people, and the language.